And that is it. It is the 16th of April, 1940. The German Reich already controls most of the world. We have the biggest navy ever created by anyone. We have absolutely unstoppable armored divisions, which are incredibly powerful, with incredible modifiers given by this insane new engineer company. Look at the attack. Look at the fourth attack, plus 40%. It's almost better to attack into forts now. How about 900 casualties versus 612,000? How about that? What do you think about that comparison? And we are insane. We are officially insane. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a very exciting one to share, as the new DLC is finally here and it is amazing. Now, the developers kindly offered me early access a couple of weeks ago, and I spent a lot of time experimenting with all of the new features and focuses. I loved every second of it, and I cannot wait to share with you this new run with historical Germany. If that sounds interesting, then this is the right video for you. Now, do keep in mind that this video was recorded before release, consequently some things may have changed or may change in the upcoming days and weeks. And if that's the case, do not worry, I will work on an updated version as soon as possible. As usual, you can find the research and focus priorities in the description of the video, and you can get access to the dedicated spreadsheet by purchasing a tier 2 membership. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the comments and to join our Discord to meet our amazing community. And of course, if you have been following the channel and enjoying the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing and leaving a comment. And that's all for the introduction, so let's get straight into our initial setup for New Germany. And guys, look at this. Look at how huge this focus tree is now. And today we're going to focus on the completely reworked historical path for Germany, but in the upcoming weeks we will also work on the alternative history paths, and especially on communist Germany, which looks very, very interesting. Now, one of the new features is available right here. First of all, we will need to pick a scientist, we will pick the armored-oriented one, and then we will need to pick a special project. Now, if you purchase the tier 2 membership, these special projects will be listed in the same column as the regular researches. The very first one we're going to pick is these military engineering vehicles. We will talk about it a bit later, but this new support company, the Assault Engineer Company, is absolutely amazing, and it will change the meta of this game. This one here, but we will talk about it a bit later. Now, in terms of buildings, there is something else new in terms of buildings. We will see that too a bit later. But instead of building infrastructures and civilian factories in Rhineland and Moselland as we used to do, we're going to do it in Hessen and Moselland, and we're going to ignore Rhineland entirely. So we're going to build infrastructures first, and then 4 civilian factories in each of these two provinces. So 4 here and 4 here. And once that is done, we're going to start building military factories in Brandenburg, Hanover, Franken and Thüringen. For what concerns our military production, this is going to be the priority. And for what concerns the naval production, we are going to remove the additional boats of these older models. And we're going to assign a couple of dockyards to the... Sorry. We're going to assign a couple of dockyards to these heavy ships, and then we're going to max out dockyards on all the other ones. So something like this, and then we are going to add an infinite production of... Never mind, we're not going to do that. At this point we can also adjust trade. We will need to import some rubber. We're going to recruit as much infantry as possible. We will need it to annex... we will need it for the Anschluss to annex Austria, as it used to be. We're not going to use any cheesy trick, but right now, if you wanted to, by spamming cavalry, you can annex Austria very early as 1936, in fact. But we're not going to use that strategy. I also don't think it is the best strategy, because we can allow Austria to build their economy a little bit before annexing them. That's going to be more beneficial for us, in my opinion. Now I'm going to decommission the cavalry and the mountaineers, and I'm going to rename the other divisions. So that it is easier to follow my spreadsheet. Now, in terms of the army, we are going to split off the panzer, or arm, the motorized. We're going to change everything else into regular infantry.
Alright. Angetreten. Alright.
And we're going to split them around with a couple of marshals. This will be the offensive one with armored and motorized, and this will be the defensive one, currently with 3 infantry armies. Then we will add 2 more defensive armies later on.
Alright.
I will start training everyone, although these ones are already trained. And we're going to gather all of our planes, and once they gathered, we are going to merge them. We're going to merge them, and we're going to send a couple of tactical bombers to Italy to fight in Ethiopia and farm some air experience for us. In terms of the navy, we're also going to gather our navy, and we're going to start training them. Shift click here, so they only train all the way up to regular. And with this, our initial setup is done. You can save the game if you want, so you don't have to do it again if you mess up something. So let's send... Did we? What did I send? So let's send air volunteers to Italy. By the way, do not send armies. Okay, so let's send some air volunteers to Ethiopia, or better, to Italy to fight in Ethiopia. And I don't usually send infantry, because if you do send your divisions there, this war lasts forever. They never reach a peace, just a truce. And your divisions will be stuck in there until World War II. If you're okay with that, you can also send some divisions. Alright, tactical bombers. I usually send 100 here and 100 here. maybe we can actually save the game now as setup done. Let me just check that the recording is correct. Yeah, everything seems fine. Alright. Let's go. Okay, the first focus will give us enough political power to pick the first advisor. We're going to pick the MEFO Bills Architect, which will reduce the consumer good factories. And let me take this chance to talk about something. The MEFO bills were completely reworked, and if you look at them now, they are terrible. Because your consumer good factories factor will increase by 3% each month. That's a lot. Up to 100%, meaning that all of your factories will eventually go to civilian factories, or better, sorry, meaning all of your civilian factories will eventually be used by the consumer goods, and you will not be able to use them to build anything. So that sounds terrible, right? There is a way to get rid of it early, and the way to do that is instead of going for the 4-year plan, you can go for prioritize economic growth. This removes MEFO bills. But it gives you recovery economy. Oh my god. But it gives you recovering economy, which still gives you plus 75% consumer good factories. Then by completing several focus down here, you will slowly get rid of those additional consumer good factories. So you are able, as you can see here, minus 15%. And here there is another minus 15%, another minus 10%. So as you complete these focuses, you will completely get rid of that debuff. On the other hand, if you go for the 4-year plan and you go down here, as you can see, you actually increase the consumer good factory used by MEFO bills. So this sounds terrible. And that was the shared opinion in the chat. And that was the shared opinion with some other content creators. However, there is a little trick in here that not everyone knows about, and that makes MEFO bills actually amazing. We'll talk about it in a bit. For now, trust me, they are not as bad as they look. They're actually amazing. Now, another very cool thing that we're going to do here is by completing this focus, we increase... never mind, that's not the focus. Later. Sorry, many of these things are still new for me. Now, after completing this focus, we gain access to one of the new features and mechanics of this DLC, and it is this new focus tree here. Now, I love this. I absolutely love this, and I hope they expand this concept to other focus trees, to other countries, because this is really, really a lot of fun. So what you do here is you pick some of the famous German Nazi advisors, like Göring, Goebbels, Hesse, Bormann. And you only complete the very first focus here. You only select this one, and it's only 14 days. And then after selecting it, say you select this one, then Goebbels himself, he will keep researching the following focuses. They do not count as regular focuses, so you don't need to do anything anymore. Goebbels by himself, he will spend for 140 days to complete this one, then this one, then this one. And you will be able to pick up to 3 of them, which will be part of the inner circle, will help Adolf Hitler as advisors. Now, of course, as you can see here, there are 7 possible advisors, and there is only 3 slots in here, which means you cannot pick all of them. Additionally, these 3 here, they have only one potential path up here. So if you pick this one and this one, then when you get to this point, only one of these 2 focuses can be completed. So usually what I have been doing, so what I would recommend doing is picking one of these 3, we'll talk about which one later, and then picking Goebbels, Hesse, Bormann or Himmler. My favorite ones are Todt, Goebbels and Bormann. In any case, this new mechanic is really a lot of fun, and in any case, I really love this new mechanic. So our first choice here will be Goebbels, because he gives us a plus 5% war support, which is incredibly convenient right now in only 14 days. So let's go on and do that, and then you will see very soon why it is great for us. There we go. Focus already completed, and with 157 political power, we can already pick war economy. That's incredibly early. And now we go for the 4-year plan. So we're not going to go for this economic growth. We're going to pick what looks like the worst choice. And it isn't. And guys, this new focus tree for Germany is really, really good. Germany is incredibly powerful in this DLC. You will see I'm very, very excited about this one. Okay, at some point you will get this message about Austria, and we will pick they will not lose us that easily, which will reduce the required amount of divisions for the Anschluss. So that's very convenient for us. And we're also going to take this chance to renew our planes. So we're going to change our fighter model into this much better one with with double cannons. Actually, let me do that again. So we're going to change our fighter into this new, much better model. This is thanks to the fact that Germany has access to cannons from the very beginning of the game. We're going to save this one. And then as soon as we have the required air experience, we're also going to change our costs into this new model here. Be just a couple of days. Ah, there we go.
Achtung!
Now, as you can see, ME4 builds already take 25% of our consumer good factories. Things are looking bad. But there is a but. And here comes the trick. As soon as you complete this focus, well, first of all, the amount of consumer good factories increased by MI4 bills each month is decreased by 0.5%. So that's already good. But then here comes the big trick. So right now, MI4 bills take 28% of our consumer good factories. Well, look at what happens now. In here we have these new price control measures, which not only decrease the amount of consumer good factories taken by MI4 builds, but they actually also give you some buffs, like increasing your war support, increasing the popularity of fascism, increasing the amount of steel that you get, and some of them give you some very minor debuffs, but decrease by a lot MI4 builds consumer good factories. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pick import tariffs, we're going to pick exploit the whatever, we're going to pick launch guns and launch Arbeit. And what this does is it was 28% and now it is 13%. So we decreased by a lot the consumer good factories used by MIFO builds. Yeah, sorry guys. Never mind. So it was 28% and now not only is not 28%, but as you can see, now it is minus 12%. So ME4 builds no longer increase the consumer good factories, they reduce them by 12%. And by carefully managing them through decisions and focuses, we will be able to keep our consumer good factories very low thanks to MIO builds. It's easy to overlook this if you just look at the tree. If you just look at the focuses, it's easy to oversee this one. Sorry, let me do that again. It's easy to miss this one if you just look at the focuses, but it's actually amazing and it makes MI4 builds, MEF4 builds very, very good. Okay, Spanish Civil War time. So at this point we are going to force deploy everything we have just so that we can send more volunteers. It should be 3. Let's check. Okay, and then let's send 3 volunteers, infantry divisions to Spain. We're going to send one of the best generals we have, this guy. So maybe he gets some nice traits for World War II. And of course also send air volunteers. In this case I usually send fighters. I think I forgot to train my fighters, but I usually do that too. And there we go with the usual MIOs. My favorite feature ever. Now, they are even more complicated now, so I saved them. You can find them in the dedicated spreadsheet. Let me find it here. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is going to be our priority for the infantry equipment MIO. Since I do not want to micro my volunteers, I'm just going to assign them an offensive line in the area of Madrid, and then we're going to set them, forget them. But if you want to micro these, you can farm specific traits slightly better. I'll leave it up to you.
Achtung! Zeigt es ihnen! Los, los, los!
Another one. And another one. And another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is going to be our priority for the artillery MIO. Now we completed our first special project. We're not going to do much with it yet. But then later on, we're going to start producing these new additional support equipment. As you can see, it's quite expensive, but this will allow us to create a new support company, which is absolutely amazing, and it will be mandatory on any offensive division. Now we're going to pick our second advisor in here. As you can see, there is a 175 days cooldown, so you cannot pick them all right away. But I would suggest picking them on cooldown, because then they will keep researching focuses by themselves. And by the way, as they proceed, they will consume more and more political power. But Germany now has a huge amount of political power, maybe even a bit too much. It may be nerfed at some point. So that's really not an issue. We're going for Todt, which at some point will give us an amazing design company. At the same time, we're also going to pick our army organization expert. And start building some army experience. This is also the right time to start recruiting another 24 infantry divisions. And now this focus is why we did not build anything in Rhineland so far, and it is because now we're going to get 2 civilian factories in there, which is amazing, but especially we are going to get a dam. Dams are some of the new buildings types which were created with the new DLC, added with the new DLC. It's something you do not build yourself, you either already have them or you can get some through focuses, and this is an example. And as you can see, they're quite amazing because they give you an extra 15% construction speed, 15% max factories, and 10% local resources. So this is a very cool focus, and after completing it, we are going to build in Rhineland as well. This doesn't matter. Okay, at 30 political power, we're going to pick collect scrap metal, so decrease once more the consumer good factories. And at this point, I usually stop training the fleet, which should be trained, and if it isn't, it's probably because something is very damaged, so it's better to stop them in any case. And by the way, guys, look at MEFO. And by the way, guys, look at MEFO builds. We are still down minus 9.5% consumer good factories. That's why they are amazing. Now, soon we should get 3 military factories. Okay, we got our dam, but we also got 3 military factories, more importantly, which means we're going to make some adjustments here, and especially we're going to start producing this new vehicle. We're going to do it by adding the tank designer to it, first of all, and then we're also going to produce it with that tank designer. So we basically add it 2 times. And then we start producing it. Only one factory is enough. We're going to keep producing it from now to all the way to World War II. But let me show you why it is amazing. So this is what the engineer company does at the moment. So as you know, it gives you some nice buffs, mostly to defense and movement, except for forts. Well, here is what happens when you switch it to the assault engineer company. Now look down there. In forts, we lose 15% defense, but we gain 15% attack, and we gain an extra 5% attack in rivers, forests, hills. In urban territories, we gain plus 20% attack. In jungle, another plus 5%. In marshes, another 5% attack. So this is absolutely amazing, and this buff to the attack increases, of course, as you keep researching the engineer technology. So this will be absolutely mandatory. You can bet on that on any offensive division in the game from now on. Now, as you can see up there, it also gives a plus 10% breakthrough to leg infantry, which is not going to particularly benefit our armored divisions. But despite that, the main buff in here is down there in those modifiers. So regardless of the breakthrough, this will be a must on all armored divisions. It's not time to switch yet. For now, we'll just produce it. And here is another feature about MEFO builds. By completing certain focuses down here, you can actually buff them, and they will increase the construction speed of military factories and dockyards in this case. Now, in addition to building this new vehicle, we are also going to increase the production of infantry equipment to 25. F1 to 25 as well. And C1 to 50. At 100 political power, we are going to pick our friend Göring as the Reichsmarshal. And look at that nice production cost reduction for fighters. We're also going to build infrastructures plus full military factories in Rhineland. And then more military factories in all of the 100% provinces. By the way, all of these provinces became 100% because like we used to do before, we completed the Reichsautobahn. So we get automatically infrastructures in all of those regions. Now here, make sure that you complete the ones that were being built before. So these ones have the priority. Actually, this one has a higher priority. We're also going to force deploy these 2 infantry divisions, and we're going to start training another 11 motorized divisions.
Bereit. Greift weiter an.
Alright, these guys are doing well.
Angetreten. Befehle. Befehle. Angetreten. Befehle? Bereit. Angetreten.
It's time for our last advisor, which will be Bormann. Now up here our next goal is to go for the Anschluss, and we have a couple of options. We have the historical one, which goes for towards Ribbentrop. And this is not really great, because the modifiers you get are not the best ones. As you can see, you get a minus 10% supply range. I'm not a big fan of that. And the discounts on air, navy and army advisors are not really good. On the other hand, this guy gives you some very, very nice modifiers. Plus 10% to all experience is really good. You gain plus 5% base stability, which is also very good. And you also gain access to this focus, which I really like. Less attrition and more supplies. That's amazing. However, this guy increases the justify goal time by 15%, and that's really not great. Now, as you know, usually, as fascist countries, when you justify while at war with a major, it only takes 10 days to get a claim on most countries. However, this one is a plus 55% not on the 10 days, apparently, but maybe on the regular focus duration. In any case, what you actually get is 60 days, 40 to 60 days to get your claim. While if you pick Ribbentrop, it will be 10 days. So we are going to stick with Ribbentrop so we can justify on more countries during World War II. If you don't care about that, if you don't want to claim everything, if you're not going for a world conquest or you just don't care, then I think this guy is actually a bit better than Ribbentrop.
Befehle?
And we actually don't want to trade with the Danes.
Befehle? Bereit.
Now we're going to go for the Anschluss.
Bereit.
By the way, I will not keep it in the edited version probably, but if you're watching the unedited version, one thing I have been wanting forever is a way to save your MIO priorities. Like, we can do this here, but I want these to be saved for the next time, for the next run. So I don't need to pick them every time. And since now I'm in touch with the developers, they sent me the key and so on, I asked them about this feature and they told me it is not possible to do so because of the core elements of this game. As you know, HOI4 is a fairly old game. And so something like that is really not coded into the core of the game, and it would require a lot of additional work to fix this issue or to be able to load and save something like a focus tree build or MIO builds. But they did tell me that they are working on a way to reduce the amount of clicking, additional clicking with MIOs, and hopefully we will see some news about that early next year. In any case, we're going to... So, this is the MIO priority for trucks. Oh my god. This one I don't care about. Okay, as soon as you complete this secondary focus, our dear friend Todd completed it. Now we can pick the new industrial concern, and we are going to pick the organization Todd, which for now gives us some nice construction speed to military factories, but especially this will become amazing later on as Todd completes more focuses. The very next one, as you can see, will increase the max factories in a state by +1, in addition to another +5% military construction speed. So this is actually very, very good.
Angetreten. Befehle. Angetreten. Befehle. Befehle. Befehle.
Okay, Anschluss is completed.
Bereit.
And we get some nice buffs in addition to Austria.
Achtung. Bereit. Bereit. Befehle.
Okay, now after the Anschluss, we're going to make some changes. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 additional price control measures. These ones will decrease our base stability by a little bit, but it doesn't matter because we have very high stability anyway. And they are going to decrease by a total of 20% the consumer good factories, which is actually absolutely amazing. Then we're going to delete the new cavalry and mountaineers. We're not going to use them, but we're going to use this infantry, the Austrian infantry, for def. So we're going to change this into def. We're also going to change all of the new divisions that we got into def. We'll actually want 2 new def armies in here. So we're going to recruit another 42 divisions because we already had 6. In any case, you want a total of 48 defensive divisions. We're also going to create a new division. We're going to make it the cheapest possible one. So 1 cavalry, and this will be our new garrison. At this point, we can also change the occupation law to local police force, and we're going to change the occupation garrison template to garrison cav. We're also going to force deploy everything.
Angetreten. Bereit.
We're going to pick both army and air spirits. For army spirits, we are going for bold attack, motorization drive, and maneuver warfare. And for the air spirits, we are going for air crew surveys and centralized control. And now we should have an increased amount of volunteers that we can send to Spain and to Japan. It should be 2 more to Spain, so let's prepare them.
Angetreten.
And it should be 5 to Japan. So let's also send 5 volunteers to Japan. Air volunteers, I usually send 1 division of fighters and 1 wing of fighters, 1 wing of bombers. Then we're going to build 2 refineries in all of the 100% provinces. We're going to decrease the production of infantry equipment to 10. And we're going to give everything to F1 with a lower priority though. Something like this. We're also going to create an agency. Let's also upgrade the MIO here if we can. No, we cannot. That's never mind. We need to adjust trade, of course. Now, I will not cover the agency in detail, and it's actually not mandatory for this guide, so you can skip it entirely if you want. But what we're going to do is we're going to get 5 upgrades, and then we're going to get a total of 4 spies, thanks to the German trees. And we're going to use 1 spy in the UK and the other 3 spies in the United States to create collaboration governments. And by the way, we are slightly late, but as soon as you can, you should also pick the Flame Pants special project. Now, our volunteers got to Japan, and for them, we're going to use an amazing general that you get from Austria. Where is he? This guy, level 2 with 5 attack. This guy's insane. So we're going to give him a chance to become even more insane with bold attack in Japan. Give him the motorization priority and let him push forever, endlessly, mindlessly. But I'm also going to give him both new planes as soon as I get them. Okay.
Angetreten.
Let's just go.
Angetreten.
More MIOs to remember. So this is going to be our priority for the fighter MIO. Do not kill the poor toad.
Befehle.
No investing in Greece.
Zeigt es ihnen!
And by the way, now that we are spying the UK for the first time, we have a raid available. This is one of the new features. Now we'll cover it maybe more in detail in another video. I must say that at the moment I find it quite easy to completely ignore this new feature, because as you can see here, what we can do is we can start a raid to this UK facility. This is a naval engineering facility, so likely by destroying it we will slow down a little bit their naval technology. It's not too expensive to make it, so we could, but I honestly don't see the need to do so. So I think we can completely ignore this. Now, I can see this having a play in multiplayer, maybe a little bit more, because if you can prevent people from getting, for example, the technology I showed you earlier, the assault technology. Actually, let me do this in a way that it can work for a short. Sorry, boys, if you're watching the unedited version. So I can see this maybe potentially being... I can see these potentially being more useful in multiplayer, in which case maybe you can prevent someone from getting, for example, flamethrower tanks, or the super heavy howitzer, or the assault engineer company, which is very, very good. So if you can prevent another player from getting this stuff, then it may be worth investing in raids. But against the AI, I really don't see much point in doing so. I mean, here you can slow down their naval technology a bit. Okay, yeah. Here you can take oil from Romania. Yeah, that's alright, but you know, we're going to destroy Romania completely. While in a tough multiplayer game, I can see the situation in which we as the Axis have Romania and we rely on the oil from Romania. And if, say, the Soviet Union or the United States destroy our oil fields in Romania, then we're going to struggle a bit more to keep up with fuel for our tanks. There could be a play for it, but I just don't see it in a single player. Still, it can be fun. It's a new mechanic, and it can be fun to interact with. But we're not going to do it now. Okay, as soon as you complete this focus, this small focus, this is one completed by Bormann or by Hess. Now this allows you this unlocks some new decisions which are very, very good. We're going to use them because these decisions will increase the construction speed and add a building slot in some of your regions. And since we are swimming in political power, we are going to develop central Germany and East and Western Germany, which are the areas of Germany in which we are building the most at the moment. We're also going to pick radio propaganda. We are going to pick the Minister for Labor. And we're going to force deploy everything we can deploy.
Angetreten. Befehle. Angetreten. Angetreten.
So that we can possibly send more volunteers to Spain and to Japan. Yes, the number increased to 7, so let's send a couple more volunteers to each.
Angetreten.
And Sudetenland is now under our control. This also boosted our stability and war support to 100%.
So our Prime Minister has come back from his third and greatest journey. He said that the settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only a
Achtung!
to a larger settlement
Ausrücken!
in which all Europe may find peace. This morning,
Befehle.
I had another talk with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler. Here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine. Some of you perhaps have already heard what it contains, but I would just like to read it to you.
Okay, as soon as you complete this additional focus here, as I mentioned earlier, this gives us basically an extra slot for factories everywhere. It's like a bit of a concentrated, in addition to the extra military factory construction speed. It's actually amazing. These new advisors are amazing, and the fact that they complete focuses on their own is really, really fun. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build more military factories in all of the 100% provinces. Then we're going to make sure that we're completing 2 refineries in each of these provinces, and actually in Franken we were only building 1, so we're going to build 1 less military factory and 1 more refinery in there. Now we want the military factories to be our highest priority, starting from the ones which we were already building. And then we're going to build more military factories also in all of the 80% provinces. Something like this. So factories in 100%, then refineries, 2 in each, then regular, and then military factories in 80% provinces. Okay, as soon as we complete this research, we need to build our new tanks, which would be amazing. This is going to be the MIO priority for... this is going to be the tank MIO priority. The tank design hasn't changed. This is my usual World War II amazing tank design. So we're going for 7.4 in terms of engine armor, and then the usual modules, the howitzer radio and small cannons. No, these are not small cannons. Sorry. The howitzer, the radio, the heavy machine guns, and then the last one is more or less free depending on how much reliability you want. By the way, our reliability, final reliability is going to be higher than this, so don't worry about that. Now, in a few days, specifically in 23 days, we will also get our flame tower. We will also get our flame tanks. But in the meantime, we can already start adjusting our armor template, and we're going to make it very cool. So we're going to change our armor template to this one. We're going to make it elite, give it a cooler icon, give it the assault engineer company, logistics, and then as soon as possible, we will also add the medium flame tank company. We go for a combat width of 36. We can save it. And we can start recruiting 9 of them. We need to make some adjustments to our production. We're going to upgrade the MIO for this F1. But then we're actually going to stop producing it because we need to invest a lot more into the new T1. So F1 and C1 down to 5 and everything else into T1. Of course, remember to adjust trade. Okay, no more experience from Spain. And finally, we got our Flame Panther as well. For the Flame Panther, we are going to use this very basic design, very cheap one too. We're going to give it one factory from tanks. And we're going to add it to our template. This is going to be the priority for CAS.
Befehle.
We're going to set up Slovakia as a puppet state, as that gives you extra compliance in the Czech part of Czechoslovakia.
Angetreten.
I'm going to make some minor changes to our naval production. We're going to start building some empty empty heavy. Oh my god, I cannot say this. We're going to start making this new design here, These are empty, heavy ship hulls, and this is the best way to achieve naval superiority. So we're going to make these only for that purpose. These are not actually good in a battle. So we're going to give these infinite production and maximum dockyards future ones. Then we're also going to start making convoys and some additional submarines as well. All infinite, all Mach dockyards, all lowest priority.
All right. All right. Achtung. Angetreten. Greift weiter an.
Okay, as you complete this focus, we are immediately going to pick this develop ersatz material to decrease the consumer good factories. Now ME4 bills will start kicking in. Now we are at 15% consumer good factories, but it's almost time for World War II. So as you can see, we managed to keep it extremely low. And look at the buffs. Look at that nice 15% extra military factory construction speed, the efficiency cap, the efficiency growth, the efficiency retention. These are all very, very good buffs. And with the war, we're going to solve the... once we start the war, we're going to solve the consumer good factories issue forever. Now, this is also a good time for the very fun MIO upgrade thing. Let's go on and do that. No. Now that we got the fourth spy, we can start making a collaboration government in the United States. And we can make it on cooldown actually. So make sure to press automatically repeat.
Angetreten. Achtung! Angetreten. Achtung!
As we complete this focus, we're going to make some changes, and we're going to make some use of our army experience. We're going to use some of our army experience. So first of all, we're going to pick the Blitzkrieg theorist. And then we're going to pick all of the mobile warfare doctrines. Look at how much the first one costs with all the discounts we have. And they remain so cheap that we can actually unlock quite a lot of them. All the way to Breakthrough, which is fantastic. And that means we can also pick Breakthrough as our favorite tactic. We're going to upgrade the MIOs once again, because it's fun. We're going to force deploy all armored divisions, and we're going to start training all of them. We're also going to deploy all planes, and we're going to train all of them. And to do all of these, we are going to need some oil. So we're going to start importing oil from the Soviet Union. A total of 5 factories usually is enough. And since we're here, let's adjust rubber. And we can continue.
Angetreten. Antreten. Angetreten. Angetreten.
Okay, as we complete all of our air researches, we can design the new fighters and casts. We're going for the usual very solid F2 design. And for our C2 we're going to use this design here. Now we want to change the production, and we want the production of F2 to go all the way up to 25. C2 can stay at 5. We can take these factories from tank and leave all the other ones on tanks. Let's also upgrade the MIO. And actually I'm going to have to do that again. Now let's also check policies, because for example we can pick one 4-man. We are going to pick this one to increase the hardness a little bit, though this one is more or less free, so if you prefer something else, feel free to go for it. Let's see if we can pick anyone else. We cannot pick anything else, so that's the only one we're going to pick. No, we also want to start setting up our armies for World War II, because it's almost time for some action. We already picked Danzig War. And we don't have any of our generals assigned. So for the main marshal here, we are going to use the guy who was leveling up in Japan. And look at how insane this guy became. The only reason we don't use him as a general is that unfortunately he's an infantry leader. But still, these stats are absolutely insane. So we're going to promote him and we're going to use him as the offensive marshal here. Let's give him breakthrough, the best tactic in the game. And I would say Logistic Wizard is a good one, although Troop Planner is also a nice one. So maybe later on he can pick both. For now, only Logistic Wizard. For the tank army, we are going to use the guy who was in Spain. He didn't level up at all, I must say. So Heinz Guderian. Well, whatever. So Heinz is also another good choice here. Maybe slightly better. I don't know, the two are pretty close. But I do like this additional planning, so maybe we're going for Eric von Manstein here.
Alright.
And the other generals don't really matter, just go for something with good defensive stats.
Befehle.
Here we're going to promote the best one for defense, this guy.
Achtung.
And then we're just going to pick them in this way,
Alright.
regardless.
Angetreten. Achtung.
Now we want everybody to have the highest motorization priority, including the defensive army. We should be able to afford it easily. And then we're going to set up our tanks to push into Poland. Now, hopefully this will be fixed by the time you watch this video. But currently, in the beta that I am playing, the spearhead is completely broken and it doesn't work anymore. So we are forced to use offensive lines instead, which is alright. It's not great. I really like spearheads. We are going to have to do without it for now.
Angetreten.
Motorized, as usual, follows our tanks around. We're also going to assign these weaker infantry, the volunteer infantry, to this front. A full infantry army to the border with France.
Achtung.
And then we're going to send another full infantry army up here. And the defensive armies, one here and one here. This is a bit of an overkill, but better safe than sorry, you know. Let's make sure that we deployed all planes. Now we're going to assign them all to our offensive army and to the tank army specifically, but actually I want about 600 of them to be on defensive purposes and to kill as many British planes as possible. So we're going to select them from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to send them somewhere like here and split them maybe a little bit around to protect this part of Germany, which will be likely bombed by our enemies. And the other ones, we can assign them like these, and then we can move them around a bit. We're also going to pick our advisors. We're going to pick, of course, the armor genius, Rommel. We're going to pick the army regrouping. And we're going to pick the... Which one was it? The close air support expert. Now we can also pick our air doctrines, of course, why not? We have quite a lot to pick, which is amazing. And we can even pick another land doctrine. Now, once our divisions are in position, I'm also going to block all of the sea regions around us. We really don't want to engage with the Royal Navy. And I'm going to block everything that we will gain access to as the war continues. So something like this. No access to the sea. No naval warfare at all. Ready for some action, boys? I am. I definitely am. With so many doctrines, so many buffs, our divisions are absolutely insane. Look at the soft attack. It's crazy.
Achtung!
Now, of course, ME4 builds are starting to kick in. Now it's 50% of our factories, so we need to wage war. But war will solve the issue completely. So the timing, as you can see, is perfect. We can start the war exactly when we need to. And we're going quite historical in this case, as you can see. So we get our claim on Danzig. It is World War II time, boys. Always good to make a save at this point, so let's go on and do that. And let's start. And we start by declaring war on Poland, of course. Now, shortly after, we will get this message and we will pick a rearmament, has always been our goal. This will remove one of our advisors. There we go. So we can pick another one now. And we're going to pick the Minister of Economy to decrease the consumer good factory a little bit. We're also going to pick the Minister of Foreign Affairs, good Joachim von Ribbentrop. We're going to pick war bonds. And we're going to start planning an operation against Poland. Now, this is how they created breakthrough. This is how they portrayed Blitzkrieg into the game. Blitzkrieg isn't exactly a doctrine, it's more of a planning strategy. And every time you start a war against a country and you have a land border with them, so for example, we cannot do this against the UK until we disembark on the UK. Well, you cannot activate these special military campaigns, which will be active only for a limited amount of time, as you can see, only for 45 days. But for those 45 days, our armored divisions will be boosted. 10% speed, 10% attack, and 5% breakthrough. And we like that, so why not? Let's get it.
He had evidently made up his mind to attack Poland, whatever happened.
Now we're also going to pick the last stuff here, the decisive battle expert. We don't usually pick, I never pick these guys because they used to decrease the max command power, but in this case now they actually increase it. So we're going to pick this guy too. Okay, now we are ready. Now we are really ready for the war. Of course, we need to import from someone else because dear old whatever he was doesn't like us anymore. That's okay though. So maybe now I should save. Okay, I see they particularly like bombing this area, so let's go on and protect it a bit more. And let's start our first push and let's see how it goes, boys. And trust me, it will be fun to see. We do need to speed up, slow down the speed a bit. But you will not notice that we decrease from 5 to 3. You will not notice at all. Because our tanks are absolutely steamrolling them, completely destroying them. Except, unfortunately, without a spearhead, they do tend to push in places where they shouldn't. Which is a bit annoying. Oh yeah, by the way, at this point we're also going to pick extensive conscription, so we don't run into manpower issues. Funnily enough, we would never have manpower issues in terms of casualties, but in terms of occupying territories, we may have some issues. Stop pushing that, please, for the love of God.
Zeigt es ihnen!
Fuckers. I hate the regular front. I really hate that they push wherever they want and not where I tell them to. But that is okay. I really hope they fix this spearhead bug as soon as possible. I mean, this is an incentive to micring, of course.
Achtung!
But... Warsaw is down already.
Befehle!
Not only Warsaw. Everything is falling apart. Poor Poland. At this point, we can also start justifying a war goal on Hungary. Oh, we still didn't have breakthrough. Let's see if we were lucky with the level up. No, I don't think he got an extra point. But
Angetreten! Bereit! Angetreten! Befehle! Angetreten! Bereit!
Poland is down. We got 1,000 casualties. That's actually a bit more than usual. Usually stay within the 500 casualties, but that's alright. In any case, Poland Poland was destroyed in just a couple of weeks, but so far it's pretty historical. Now, of course, we get ready for the Netherlands. If I had my spearhead, I would have taken no casualties at all.
Achtung!
And now, how does this help with our increasingly expensive MEFO bills? Well, now we can seize the Polish gold reserves, and this will decrease the consumer good factories by 30%. Look at that. And yes, Poland will get some maluses, but we don't care. Overall, in a long war, if you had to keep occupying Poland, this would be quite bad, but since our war will end very fast, we don't have to deal with resistance, we really don't care, so it's really not an issue.
Angetreten!
Now we'll prepare our armies here because later on we will use the infantry to cover this front, so at least one infantry and one defensive will stay around this area.
Achtung!
One infantry is entirely free, we can send it up here, and the last defensive can be at the border with Yugoslavia and Hungary, which will be our targets later on.
Bereit! Bereit!
Okay, we got the claim on Hungary. Let's keep going with claims, this time on Yugoslavia. Oh, actually, let me make this faster. So we're going to claim Hungary, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, and Greece. We're not going to attack them yet, but we prepare our claims. And Romania will protect Yugoslavia, so we will soon be at war with all of these countries.
Bereit! Angetreten!
Again, a spearhead would be my favorite choice here, but we cannot use it. Okay, we got our claims on the Netherlands and Belgium, so we can start the war immediately. Let's attack the Netherlands, and by the way, let me mention something here. We have this operational planning, but first of all, you cannot spam it. If you have already an operation ongoing, you cannot use it immediately. As you can see now, even though Poland fell, we still have the operation ongoing, so we cannot use another one on France. And the other thing is, it's not always worth using this campaign. It still costs some command power, which by the way, we don't have at the moment, some army experience. So you should only use this when you feel like it's actually needed. And sadly for the Netherlands, they are not the biggest of challenges. As you can see. Now it's time for Belgium. Also not the biggest of challenges, although Belgium was reworked, and I believe a Belgium guide is due, because Belgium will likely be very strong if played correctly. Now that the Netherlands are down, we can also seize their gold reserves and decrease our consumer good factories by another 16.5%. Great. Okay, we got the claim here. Continue.
Achtung!
Okay, let's go for the Netherlands. And let's go for Luxembourg as well. Sorry. Let's go for Belgium and the Luxembourg. Yeah, look at the eye. So smart. I told you to push there. Where do you push? In a level 10 freaking fort. Stop pushing there immediately. Damn. And we're going to take the Luxembourg gold reserves as well. Belgium is down, and we can start getting ready to take down France, which will not take much longer actually.
Angetreten. 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 Bereit. Bereit. Befehle.
Paris will fall very soon.
Achtung. Befehle.
And France is down. We are not going to establish Vichy France. We're going to keep everything for ourselves. Now we're also going to take the Belgian gold reserves, another minus 18% to consumer good factories, and guess what, boys? Our consumer good factories now are only at 6.5%. Now, we do need to get ready to invade Hungary, but I'm going to keep a couple of tanks in here. Well, not this definitely is not what I want. This is better. We're going to use a couple of tanks here to get rid of the last remaining British divisions, especially the harbors can be otherwise a little bit annoying. Now, in France, we got an additional facility, but we're actually going to lose it later on when we take, when we create. No, we're actually going to lose it later on when we release France as a puppet. But in the meantime, we can start researching something. No, we can actually not. So forget I said that entirely.
Achtung! Bereit?
I'm going to use the infantry divisions that were here to protect the coast against potential naval invasions. We don't want any tricks from the UK.
Angetreten! Angetreten! Bereit! Achtung! Achtung!
Oh yeah, by the way, our economy of conquest is now at minus 12% consumer good factories.
Bereit! Bereit!
Now, once we're done claiming, with our claims in the Balkans, we can start fabricating claims on some other countries that we're going to tag, which means we're going to declare war on them, but we're not actually going to attack them. And those countries are going to be Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Liberia. Then we're going to do the same on Ireland, Iceland. Let me see if I forgot anything. Oh yes, Siam. And then we're going to justify on Spain and Portugal. I'll not cover all of these in the guide, but we're going to do it just so that we can claim all of that stuff in the war. In the peace conference at the end of the war. I think these guys may be almost ready here.
Los, ausrücken!
Okay, let's go after Hungary in the meantime.
Bereit! Bereit!
We also got our claims on Denmark and Norway, so let's go full rampage mode.
Achtung! Angetreten!
And get a white piece with Denmark right away.
Angetreten! Ausrücken!
Okay, no more French in France, which is great.
Achtung!
And no more Hungary as well.
Achtung!
Next, it's time to take down Yugoslavia. Not a big challenge.
Bereit.
But Yugoslavia can be a little bit more annoying, so we're going to use the planning against them.
Bereit.
And we also want to set up our troops at the border with Romania, because Romania will join.
Angetreten.
And meanwhile, we need to pay attention to planes. First of all, because we want to destroy as many British planes as possible. So at this point, we can move some of our planes in here. I think that's where the most British planes will be. And we want to keep engaging them. Now, as you can see in here, we are winning big time in the battle for the skies. Yeah, you can see it here. We already destroyed 322 of their planes in here. We will soon destroy a lot of their planes in here. So everything is looking good, but we need the air superiority to win the battle for the channel and to invade the UK. So that's very important.
Bereit. Ausrücken.
In the meantime, let's keep declaring wars around.
Bereit.
And by the way, guys, our casualties at the moment, 4K with Poland, the UK, Belgium, and the Netherlands down. It's looking pretty good. Maybe not record good, but pretty good. Okay, I think it's time for Yugoslavia to go down. So, war on Yugoslavia.
Angetreten.
Let's wait for the planning. There we go. And let's go.
Achtung.
Can also increase the speed a little bit now. Now keep an eye on your war goals, because you don't want to run out of time. So we have until the 10th of December to declare war on Bulgaria. Looks fine. We should have enough time.
Greif weiter an.
But what happened to my spy? Something not cool, apparently.
Angetreten. Bereit.
We unlocked a special new raid, which is to destroy the Big Ben. We need the air superiority on the UK. And I mean, this is another thing. It can be fun, sure, but it's really not needed. We're not going to waste our time doing that. And Saudi Arabia can say goodbye. Yugoslavia is down. Very smooth. Although Romania is being a little bit annoying.
Achtung!
But our priority now is taking down Bulgaria.
Bereit! Angetreten!
Let's go. We may have some additional planes now. I'm going to deploy them here.
Angetreten!
Okay, Bulgaria is down. Looks like I may be slightly late with Greece. Because Romania will go down, but not instantly, so we can start preparing our troops at the border with Greece, just in case. We got it covered, because we have time until the 20th of December, I think. Okay, so we only have a few days.
Angetreten!
Let's keep pushing. I mean, it's undeniably incredibly fun to just steamroll your opponents like this. It's just like they don't exist at all. They just completely get disintegrated.
Achtung!
Completely. You want to go to some place, you just right click there and your divisions will be there in 2 seconds and destroy everything on their path. And I think Romania should go down. Pass, please. Nice. Very, very good. Okay, now let's send our tanks immediately down to Greece. Greece can be surprisingly annoying to take down, as Italy knows very well.
Ausrücken!
Of course, we're not going to call Italy. We don't want to share our juicy war score with anyone, so everything is only for us.
Befehle!
Now, here we do need to protect this additional coastline that we just conquered, and later on we'll need to do it even more. As for this other army here, we can send it to the border with nationalist Spain. I saw some casualties there, so I think, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Romania was a bit annoying.
Bereit!
Romania was a bit annoying. That's okay though, still pretty good.
Bereit!
I may have missed Greece, because I forgot to declare war on them. Not very good, but nothing too bad.
Achtung!
Time for Greece to go down.
Bereit!
You see how stupid these divisions are? You have a big encirclement there, and you don't take it.
Achtung! Achtung! Ausrücken! Ausrücken! Achtung!
Greece is down. Perfect. Now we can prepare for Spain. Spain will not join the Allies, but they are still a bit annoying because they are quite big.
Angetreten!
Remember to protect the naval regions with at least one army, so that you can avoid the UK in invading you. And by the way, they reworked the system here a little bit, so you can assign the area defense and then just select the icon that you want. By default, it's all active, but if you just want a coastline, like in our case, you just select this one. Pretty convenient. Good quality of life improvement. Let's go to Spain. Okay, we always want to contest the UK, so let's make sure that we have planes wherever they have planes.
Bereit! Achtung!
Epic, the new music, by the way, the new music is absolutely epic. I love this. Okay, time for Spain to go down. At this point we also justify on Portugal. And against Spain, since Spain can be a little tricky, we are going to use the campaign as soon as we can get it. There we go. Let's get it and let's go against Spain. First push in the mountains with tanks. What mountains? I don't see any mountains. I see Spanish divisions being steamrolled. I don't see mountains. Yeah, I do see our tungsten going away though. So we need to suffer a bit until we get to Portugal. Which will happen soon, no worries. Now, in fact, I do want to rush Portugal, because I want to take them down first. So we are going to try, although without spearheads, that's almost impossible. But we're going to try to push into Portugal. Northern Spain. Now at this point we should have some upgrades to do as well. Not the best time because we cannot use anything, but let's still upgrade this stuff here. And I believe... now we can also pick policies probably for planes. There we go. Here we're going to pick... I'm going to pick this one for planes. And for what concerns infantry equipment, we are going to pick the extra research bonus. So we can also upgrade the C2 and F2 MIOs. And of course I misclick.
Achtung! Rückzug! Ausrücken! Achtung! Angetreten! Bereit!
There was a lot of divisions in there. Yeah,
Greift weiter an!
they really don't want to push where I told them. Why? Why? Why do you have to go down there? Why?
Angetreten! Befehle! Achtung! Angetreten!
I can
Angetreten!
go for Portugal already.
Befehle! Ausrücken! Angetreten!
Okay, let's take down Portugal. And let's get our last few claims before the war is over. So Siam, Liberia and Iceland later on.
Achtung!
And then there is another big surprise, guys, in a little bit. Because the UK will be defending. A big new thing with the DLC. The UK defending its mainland.
Bereit!
Sounds crazy. They sound insane, but they do it. They actually do it.
Bereit!
Those crazy motherfuckers actually defend their mainland now, instead of Madagascar. Can you believe it? Oh, Portugal is down.
Bereit!
Now let's quickly take care of Spain. Can anyone take this piece of land, please? This forest in the middle of nowhere. Can anyone take it? Come on.
Befehle!
Garcia.
Achtung!
I'm going everywhere except where you should. And Spain is down. In the case of Spain, since it's a separate peace conference, we can puppet them, take resource rights, and take their navy, which can be quite convenient, actually.
Zeigt
Oh, let's
es
also
ihnen!
take Gibraltar since we're here. Perfect. Now, we got a notification, and it is a raid incoming. So, the UK is actually trying to raid our facility in France. And to be honest, completely honest with you, we absolutely don't care. But just for fun, we can try to defend it. We just need the air superiority, and we need 500 planes on interception mission. And that's done. So let's send these guys here. Let's assign them here. Let's send them on interception. And let's also take maybe a couple from here. Quite easy. Now, the other thing we want to do, of course, is we want to start planning our naval invasion of the UK. And yes, big news, the UK will be defending, and it will be defending very hard. It's much more difficult than before to get the naval superiority. And it is much more difficult than before to invade them, because they will defend their coastline and they will have a huge amount of divisions on the mainland. This was one of my main complaints with the regular game, and I'm very happy that this was finally addressed. Now, that being said, we are still going to completely destroy them and smash them, but that's because we are Germany. With minors, this will be a lot more challenging, so I'm looking forward to that too. Now, invading the UK from this side was easier before, but right now I found it to be much more difficult. I found it to be much more difficult, especially to get the naval superiority. The UK keeps their navy in here, so we need to use all of our tools to get the invasion done. So we're going to focus entirely on the channel. We need to have the air superiority. Without air superiority, we cannot get the invasion done. And then we need to gather our fleet and use our spy. In fact, we're going to use our spy right now to build up this intel network a little bit more. And then we're going for a naval invasion from Dunkirk to the area of Portsmouth and Dover. Groups of 2.
Achtung! Bereit! Befehle! Achtung!
So groups of 2 like these, and then it is very important that we assign all of our planes, including CAS, to this region, and we send the CAS on naval strike, so we can maybe cripple a little bit their navy, and we try to get the air superiority, the full air superiority in the region. Then, of course, we need to unblock some of these naval regions, because we need to gather our fleet entirely in Dunkirk. We really need the fleet not to be intercepted, so hopefully that will not happen, because that would be an issue. Okay, everything went well. Now, as long as we have the air superiority, the spy, and the navy of Germany, it should be fairly easy to get the naval superiority. In the meantime, we are going to set these guys on area defense in Spain, because we don't want naval invasions from the UK in here.
Achtung!
Let's give a look at the casualties, by the way, guys. We are still at 10k. How insane is that? Now, the invasion of the UK has a bit of RNG, so if we are unlucky, we may get some casualties in there with the naval invasion itself. But 10k casualties because before the UK goes down, it's absolutely crazy. We just steamrolled everyone in here, which was very fun. Now I need 100 more planes here to be on interception to fully counter this raid. Now, as you can see down there, we could also build some anti-air, but I'm not going to do that. So with this, we already have a 83% chance to repel the raid. Pretty satisfied with that. And by the way, this focus is bypassed, which means we are now very close to autarky achieved. We will be able to pick this as soon as the war is over. But we need to take down the UK before that, so in the meantime we're going to pick these nice buffs.
Achtung! Angetreten!
Okay, what did we have left? Liberia, I think Iceland. Or maybe Iceland I already took. Iceland, and then Italy, and then we're done.
Achtung! Befehle?
Don't sign the tripartite pact. In this way, we can attack Italy more freely later on without worrying about Japan. Okay, our naval invasion is ready, so this is the moment of truth. Will we get the naval superiority or not? Let's see. Google. Easy, easy peasy. But trust me, it's not as easy as it seems. It is easy because we have the naval superiority, because we have the air superiority, because we destroyed we destroyed their air force almost completely, and we already destroyed part of their navy. Otherwise, it's very challenging now to get the naval superiority. Also, getting the naval superiority is not everything, because you will see what happens in a few seconds when we start this naval invasion. But first, let me make a save, because you never know with the UK. Alright, so let's go and see what happens. First of all, they immediately engage us. Okay, by the way, we can get Italy now. Remember to justify on Italy before the war is over, so the claim is fast. Our fleet will take some damage, and as you can see, they're protecting the harbors very well. Usually they protect the entire coastline. In this case, it looks like they aren't, so we did catch them old style. Thank you, UK. I mean, you defended in every single test run, and now I just wanted to show you you don't defend as usual. Oh my god. You wanted me to look bad. Admit it. Why do you have to be disappointed? Why do you have to be always disappointing, UK? Why? You did defend before. Trust me. I swear they used to defend. They are better at defending. I still think they will send more divisions in here. Trust me. And here gets scientists and researchers, but it's the stuff we get from the UK, and we're going to give it back to them later. So no point. Now come on, look at them. Look at them. They have divisions. Also, by the way, let's get the planning against the UK. This can be quite beneficial. Because again, they do defend, trust. Yeah, look at the divisions they have in here. Come on, this is not old style UK. They have a lot of divisions. I mean, they still suck, yes, but they have a lot of divisions.
Ausrücken! Ausrücken!
No. This I don't really like. They're stopping us.
Angetreten! Angetreten!
Yeah, but we do need to set planes on this army now. That is quite important.
Bereit! Bereit! Angetreten! Angetreten!
I think the UK is almost down. Our final casualties are 17k. In World War II, we caused them 1.5 million casualties. We did this entirely by ourselves. We took all of Europe, and the UK is about to go down. We did this by ourselves, so we don't have to share this war score with anyone. It's 100% for the German Reich. Now it's time for my save as UK almost down. We're actually a bit early. Nice.
Achtung!
And the UK is in fact down. Now the peace conference will be incredibly tedious, but I will make it very easy for you. We're going to annex Danzig and Gdynia, since we have cores. Alsace and Luxembourg, since we can get cores. And we're going to claim, and we're going to annex Southern Ontario and St. Lawrence, because we're going to use them to invade the UK, to invade the United States. So this stuff we annex. Everything else we puppet with resource rights, war operations, and then we take all navies. That's all you need to know. Now I will spend the next 5 minutes of my life picking them one by one. And you too, if you're watching the unedited version. I highly recommend that you skip ahead. I highly recommend myself to check my peace conference guide, making sure I didn't forget anything, or I will just kill myself. Everything seems totally fine. It's just a lot of clicking now. Nothing can go wrong. And that is it. It is the 16th of April, 1940. The German Reich already controls most of the world. We have the biggest navy ever created by anyone. We have absolutely unstoppable armored divisions, which are incredibly powerful, with incredible modifiers given by this insane new engineer company. Look at the attack. Look at the fort attack, plus 40%. It's almost better to attack into forts now. plus 20% into cities. Insane, insane. But I cannot feel entirely satisfied until I pay a visit to my old country that I miss so much. So let's go pay Mussolini a visit and show him how to properly build tanks. And then we can call this run a success.
Alright.
I'm going to produce a lot of guns since we need them for upgrades. Also F2 and C2 can go all the way up to 50. And then let's give everything to tanks, which by the way we need to upgrade again. And by the way, guys, what about our consumer good factories? Well, right now, 38% of our factories are going to the economy of conquest. That's not great. But now we can pick autarky achieved. And this completely gets rid of all of the consumer good factories. As you can see, it sets them to 0%. And it gives us some other insane bonuses, like construction speed, factory output, and factory and dockyard output. There is a double factory output actually in there. That's amazing. So that's great. In 70 days, no more consumer good factories. Now, one very important thing about this focus, however, is as you can see, you need a huge amount of resources for this to be completed. And those resources must be either under your direct control or under the control of your subjects, which is why we can do it now. We puppeted half of the wood, so we have all of the resources in the wood. However, currently, and I talked to the developers about this, I think they will probably change it. Currently, these resources only count if you get the resource rights. If you do not get the resource rights, you need one individual puppet to have 800 steel. If you have instead, if you have the resource rights, the total sum of the steel from all of your puppets will count towards this target. And hopefully they will make it so even without resource rights, because resource rights, as you know, require the By Blood Alone DLC. So you need another DLC to be able to easily do this. Otherwise, it's quite tricky to get these requirements, but not impossible.
All right. Bereit.
So we can start spying on the Soviet Union. But we're not going to attack them in this run. In this video, at least.
Achtung.
Okay, let's go to Italy. I actually want to use the special planning against Italy, but I cannot do it because I have already the ongoing operation against the UK. Well, I guess no special planning for us then. And now look at how Italy disappears from the map. Also with heavy bombs we can actually rework our C2 a little bit. Let's go on and use heavy bomb blocks instead. Slightly better.
Los, los, los! Achtung! Befehle?
It's tough. It's tough to see Italy getting destroyed so much.
Ausrücken! Angetreten! Ausrücken! Befehle! Ausrücken! Angetreten!
Mussolini is already deposed.
Befehle!
How about 900 casualties versus 612,000? How about that? What do you think about that comparison?
Achtung! Bereit!
And that's it. Italy is gone. Italy is down. Unfortunately, they capitulated so fast that I couldn't create the Italian puppet. I couldn't transfer the territory, but it's even better because we don't have anyone else in this peace conference, so we can actually take everything. Some more clicking, of course. That's it. Now that Italy is... well, this is a bit too late. I'm sorry, boys. Italy went down too fast. Okay, so 951 factories in June 1940. And we are insane. We're officially insane. Now, guys, this is the end of this run. Although we have a perfect setup to go after the United States. We already have 3 collaboration governments. Well, the third one is almost done. So we can easily take down the United States and then go after the Soviet Union for Barbarossa. This definitely will not be part of this video, but if you want me to continue this run, of course we can do that. Let me just say a couple of things about this new Germany. Germany was one of the strongest and easiest countries to play before this DLC. And now it's probably a bit more challenging. There are more things to take care of, more options, a lot more options to play Germany, which in the end is what we really wanted, a giant focus tree. What they really managed to do is to make Germany even more powerful than it used to be, which is absolutely amazing. Now in this video we didn't cover all of the new things, we didn't talk too much about raids. We used some of the special projects. But then there are more new things that we didn't get to see much in this video, and you will see in upcoming videos. For example, the new force concentration from the AI. Well, there is no force concentration against Germany. We are the force concentration. We destroy everything. So we will need to see how it works when we play against Germany. And now Germany looks very scary. But overall, I'm very, very happy with how it feels to play Germany now. I love these additional focuses. This one was a lot of fun. So guys, you should definitely play the new Germany because it's really a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this run, if you have any suggestions for further improvements. I have a plan for future videos, but let me also know in the comments what you would like to see next. As usual guys, if you enjoyed the video, a lot of work goes into this, so please don't forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing to the channel and leaving me a comment. If you stayed with me until now, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next videos. There will be a lot of content coming, and I'm really confident that this DLC will bring a lot of people back to the game. It will be a lot of fun, and it will be great to share it with you. Bye bye!